You are the sum of everything you have ever experienced. Well, it is not entirely true, because even if you're born with a silver spoon in your mouth, you will still need to eat food like everybody else. Even if you were born with golden hair, you will still need to wash it like everybody else. You may be thinking that we just said a flat-out lie, but we assure you that this statement has some truth to it. Every human being alive has gone through experiences. Good or bad, both types of experiences shape who you are. This is why it is impossible for two people to be exactly alike. We all have different experiences, so we all have different perspectives. But then again, where do these experiences come from? The simple answer would be life. Life hands us situations and we deal with them. Our way of dealing with these situations is what shapes our perspectives. If you have dealt with a situation in a certain way, you will always approach similar situations in a manner that is reminiscent of how you dealt with that experience. For example, if you faced failure bravely when you were younger, you will now be able to face failure without breaking down, which is a good thing. And similarly, if you were insulted by your peers and you let it break you, you will always approach social situations timidly. That is not a good thing. So as you can see, every experience leaves a mark on you. It carves your personality, your perspective, and your mindset. But the question is, should we embrace these experiences or try to avoid them? Well, the obvious answer would be to embrace them. And we will explain why. Some experiences are pleasant and some are unpleasant. When we talk about unpleasant experiences, we mean trauma, pain, insults, etc. Now, there is no doubt that no one likes to go through these experiences, but they are necessary. Yes, you heard that right. Trauma, pain, and rejection are necessary parts of life. They are necessary because they force you to grow. Think about it. If you never get rejected by girls, how will you ever learn how to socialize with the opposite sex? If you never experience failure, how will you ever learn how to pick yourself up? If you never feel pain, how will you learn to empathize with others? These are rhetorical questions. Obviously, no one wants to feel pain, but humans are emotional creatures. And emotions can only be felt if there is a contrast. In other words, if there was no pain, you wouldn't know what pleasure is. If you never failed, you wouldn't know what success feels like. And if there was no darkness, you wouldn't be able to appreciate the light. This is why we say that unpleasant experiences are necessary. If you want to grow as a person, you must go through difficult situations. And here is something that you might find controversial. Difficult situations will always arise in your life, whether you like it or not. So it is better to embrace them than to avoid them. Because when you embrace challenges, you prepare yourself for them mentally. But when you try to avoid your problems, you burden yourself with anxiety. Because then your mind knows that there is an issue that you're trying to run away from, so it will manifest itself in your dreams. You will dream about the very thing that you're trying to avoid. Why does this happen? Because your subconscious mind won't stop reminding you about your problems until you solve them. Your mind is sort of like an annoying little child. If you tell it that you will deal with it later, it will keep crying and screaming until you pay attention to it. And speaking of paying attention to things, if you haven't yet subscribed, well, it is quite obvious that you enjoy watching our videos. So make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any future uploads. Now let's get back to the topic at hand. Let's start off with the benefits of embracing your challenges. The first benefit is that you learn to grow. As we have already mentioned, challenges force you to grow. They push you out of your comfort zone and help you become a better version of yourself. A soldier doesn't become a good fighter by living in luxury. Similarly, you will not become a strong person by avoiding your problems. The second benefit is that you maintain mental peace. Peace of mind can only be achieved when you accept reality. You see, when you run away from your problems, you are essentially trying to escape reality. And since reality will catch up to you, you will be burdened with anxiety and stress. But when you face your problems head-on, you remove all doubts from your mind and you live in the present moment. The third benefit is that you prepare yourself. Facing challenges also means that you are preparing yourself for the future. If you want to achieve something big, you will have to face many obstacles along the way. By facing your small problems with bravery, you train your mind to face greater problems with the same bravery. Now let's talk about the disadvantages of running away from your problems. The first disadvantage is that you live in a constant state of anxiety. Like we have already mentioned, when you try to escape reality, you will always feel burdened by anxiety and stress. It is like having a dark cloud hanging over your head. No matter what you do, it will ruin your peace of mind. The second disadvantage is that you sabotage your future. By running away from your problems today, you are essentially destroying the potential that you could have had tomorrow. Think about it. If you faced that challenge and came out victorious, you would have gained experience, but you chose to run away instead. And the third disadvantage is that you teach your mind to run away. Your mind works just like your body. If you teach your body to be lazy, it will become lazy. Similarly, if you teach your mind to run away from problems, it will become a coward. Whenever your mind faces a challenge in the future, it will try to trick you into running away. Now that you know the disadvantages of running away from your problems, you might think that you should dive head first into every problem that comes your way, right? Wrong. There is a proper way to deal with your challenges. If you simply jump into a problem without preparation, you might end up hurting yourself. Here are 3 steps to deal with your problems in the best way possible. The first step is to identify the problem. Do not try to ignore or deny it. Identify the problem and accept that it exists. The second step is to plan a solution. Sit down and think about all the ways you can solve that problem. Think from every angle and choose the best solution possible. The third step is to implement your solution. Now that you have a clear plan of action, execute it to the best of your abilities. By following these 3 steps, you will have solved your problem in no time. But remember, every problem is not meant to be solved. Some problems are meant to be endured. Sometimes you will have to face challenges that you cannot control. In such times, the best course of action is to accept the situation and move forward. Here are 3 ways to deal with the problems that cannot be solved. The first method is to practice acceptance. Acceptance is truly the first step towards healing. Try to understand that some things are beyond your control and there is nothing you can do about it. The second method is to focus on the present moment. Do not let your mind wander into the future. Focus on what you can do in the present to make things better. And the third method is to seek support. Do not try to carry your burdens alone. Lean on your friends, family, and loved ones. We all know that life is full of ups and downs. That is why it is called a roller coaster ride. By now, you should know that both the good and the bad experiences shape who you are. So rather than shying away from the bad, embrace it. Embrace the bad experiences and learn to grow from them. Remember, the greatest people that have ever lived have also gone through tough situations, but they did not shy away from those challenges. They embraced them and used them to fuel their fire. So never limit yourself. No matter how big of a challenge you face, remember that you are stronger than your problems. If you like this video, make sure to let us know by giving us a thumbs up. Also, don't forget to subscribe so you can see our future posts. Thanks for watching.